Housing market becomes major headwind for US economy. Housing market is likely to subtract from real GDP growth next year. Guys, the wheels are coming off. The housing market has now officially, in my opinion, has entered a recession. There's so many things that are happening in the housing market that are showing that basically it is about to collapse, all right? If you are in the market to buy a house, right, I would say, in my opinion, your best bet would be to wait because things are changing and they're changing super, super fast in the housing market. Now, if anybody bought in the last 2 years, I gotta say, you bought on the you bought definitely at the bubble, and we're probably gonna see those prices retract, especially if you bought in the last year. A lot of people really wanted to get in, and basically, people weren't necessarily thinking. That's what happens when you get FOMO, when everything's going up, you feel like, oh my God, I gotta get in, and you lose sight of like the economics behind it. And you never want to buy on FOMO. I've been telling this like when people want to buy stocks or when people want to buy crypto, you never buy like when it's going up, ever. What you do when it's going up is, what is it, guys? You sell. You're supposed to sell when it goes up. You're not supposed to buy when it goes up, because the problem is that everything that goes up too fast comes down just as fast. And now we're seeing it in the housing market. Now, again, I think housing is an amazing investment regardless of how much you pay for your property, because it's long term, right? And eventually it will come back up. But in general, if you can wait 6 months, if you could wait a year, if you could wait 2 years and save, $100,000-$200,000 off the price of the house right now, I think it's worth it. Because remember, that money when you factor it into a mortgage ends up being like 3 times as much, right? Especially with higher interest rates, it could even be more than that. So it's really important that you try to get a house for the lowest price possible. Now, this article is pointing out some crazy stuff that's happening in the economy, and unfortunately, it's not looking good as a whole, but it is looking good for home prices to come down. The problem is, as home prices come down, you guys have to understand that the economy is going to shrink, and it is going to be painful. But that's the process. So it's not going to be painful for everybody, but it is going to be painful. I think that people with the means, the people that have a good W-2 job, I would say, you're probably in the best. You're aligning yourself, to be in you're in the best position, because it is so much easier to borrow and get a mortgage when you have a W-2 job, when you've been working for that company for more than 2 years. So think about that, right? And right now, I would say if you got the down payment and you're really looking to buy a house, if you find your dream house, then I would say you gotta buy it. You gotta buy your dream house at the end of the day, right? Because it's a dream house. It's a once in a lifetime, house that, it's you're gonna live there for the rest of your life. Now, if you're kind of more like budget shopping and you want to get a good deal, then I would say wait a little bit, guys. Wait, because I definitely think that if you find a house that you like, that same house or the neighbor's house, whatever, is going to be in the market in about a year for maybe 10, 20, 30, 40% off what the current listing price is right now. So, and I think that's a big deal. Now here, if we jump back into the article, check out this quote. Housing has clearly, here, let me highlight it real quick. Housing has clearly gone from tailwind to headwind. It will likely subtract from GDP growth for the next year. Like I said in previous videos, guys, we just went from a seller's market right into a buyer's market, and it literally happened overnight. A year ago, or like less than that, like 3 months ago, sellers could say whatever they want. Sellers were like, I want to waive appraisal, I want to waive inspections, whatever, right? And the buyers were like, I don't care, I want the house. I'll pay you more. They were paying $100,000 over asking. Well, not anymore, guys. Those days are over, okay? If you're a seller right now and you have kind of like a fixer-upper, guess what? It's probably gonna sit in the market for a long time. If you got a really nice house in a really desirable neighborhood, you can still get that higher price tag. Although prices are coming down, but you can still get that, you can still sell that house for a decent amount, versus I believe, in my opinion, the fixer-uppers are just gonna just rot in the market. And eventually what's gonna happen is, in the next few months, when those people get more and more motivated to sell, they're gonna keep lowering the price, and they're gonna take those low bid offers. Usually contractors like to bid really low, because they want to basically go in there, remodel it real quick, flip it, and make a $50,000 to $100,000 profit, depending on how big the house is or whatnot. So those people are going to try to go in and pick the lowest hanging fruit. And essentially, when you got those fixer-uppers selling for way below, the value of the neighborhood, essentially brings down the whole price of the neighborhood. So even the nice house with all the upgrades will be selling for a lot cheaper. Now, again, it's a risk, because we do have inflation, and inflation essentially is keeping all the prices really high. So you got to weigh out your options. What do you want to do? We know we have a supply issue. We jump back in the article, and right here it talks about how the housing construction has just come to a halt, right? And we haven't seen, these low level of new construction homes since like 2020 or something like that. So what's going to happen is now we have less supply. So the only way for things, in my opinion, for the supply to go up, for prices to come down, is we're going to have to see a turn in the economy. We're most likely going to have to see layoffs. If we have that combination of those two things, we will see people put their houses on the market, if they want to get, any profit that they can out of it. If we might see some foreclosures. We might see companies like Zillow, guys like BlackRock, if their stock goes down and they want to mitigate risk, and they're going to take their portfolio of all these homes they've bought and they're going to put them back in the market. That could also make the market, basically crash. If Zillow owns so many homes, imagine if they could just unload some of that. Imagine their stock price, tumbles, and now they need cash. Well, they're going to want to sell those homes. So there's a lot of things in the future that are definitely pointing towards a correction in the housing market. You have to be ready to strike. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish this video. I got a lot of videos coming, today, tomorrow, every day, guys, because since the housing market is changing so rapidly, I want to make sure that I'm bringing you the latest news so you could be the most informed. Now, I just want to say a big thank you for everybody who's been watching my videos. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for liking my videos. It's amazing. Words can't describe how I feel right now. Now, if this is your first time listening to my video, watching my video, and you like what I have to say, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.